Welcome back, everyone. Now, look, I'll be honest, I genuinely hate talking about stuff like this, but some people seem to love a bit of drama and my name keeps coming up, so why not? I want to start by asking you a question. What do we hear, what do you hear and read most when it comes to the issues that we face back home and the reasons why we're in such a mess? I think it's this. People say, oh, have the courage to stand up, and not enough people have the courage to speak out. Well, I chose to do that. I have stood up and I have spoken out, and I made that decision. I made the decision to do that knowing full well what the repercussions would be down the line. Now, some people say, again, don't just talk about it, do something. And I am proud to say that I did, and that hopefully I'll continue to do that. But just lately, I seem to be getting more and more abuse from people supposedly on the same side than from anyone else. And there seems to be three things that are bothering some of you most of all, and I want to briefly address those three things today. Now, firstly, people say that I'm in this just for the money. So let me tell you an absolute fact. I've been earning less than a third of what I used to earn before I was speaking out for our people, for our country, and for Tommy. And the naysayers can say and think whatever they like. My accounts would confirm this to be 100% true. And this is an indisputable fact, although it doesn't stop some people without a single shred of knowledge or evidence about me or my income still trying to dispute that. And I find it ironic that people continue to get their knickers in such a twist over money that they never forget the super chats that were coming my way during my live streams, most of which, by the way, was donated to others and to the cause. And again, I bring the receipts and I've proven that in the past, but they never ever remember or mention my lost sponsors. So just for them, I'll say it one more time. I lost £7,000 a month the moment I started to show support for this movement and for Tommy. Now, I'm not stupid. I knew that that would happen and I'd budgeted for it. But that's how much I believe in what I do. I wonder how many of those so-called critics will be willing to do the same. They do say talk's cheap. Here's another unquestionable point that people sadly seem to miss. You see, you don't talk about and support Tommy and this movement to make money. You talk about and support Tommy in this movement when you can afford to lose it. And that, my friends, is why so many still are afraid to speak out. That, I'm afraid, is still why so many people remain quiet even when they don't want to. But I totally understand and I totally get that. The second thing that's been being said, very hurtful, but, these days I just let it run off my back. They say, oh, you've run off to Spain, you're a coward, you're a chicken, you're no longer qualified to speak about the UK because you now live abroad. Never mind the fact that I still pay probably more tax in the UK than most of those who criticise me. Apparently, I have no right to speak about my home anymore. So let me tell you a little bit more. 3 months ago, I regrettably felt that it was necessary to leave my home for the safety and security of my family, my wife, and for my own mental health. One of my daughters was already living here with one of my grandchildren, and I'm hoping sincerely that the rest will be able to follow soon, because I miss them like you just couldn't believe. You see, it's not just you, people that I've never met, that I've had to leave behind. It's my own loved ones, for now at least. And this is where I'll be staying in exile for at least the foreseeable future, and almost certainly until this vile, vindictive and dangerous anti-free speech Labour government have gone and the police have become once again our protectors instead of our political suppressors. Let me share this. The night before we left, my wife broke down in tears in my arms and said, I don't really want to go. I just want to live peacefully and safely in my own country. Those words will never leave me. And despite the ironic part is, and I guess it's quite funny in some ways, despite all the years she's been telling me she fancied retirement in Spain, when it came to it, I knew that for this South London girl, the reality, the journey was always going to be sweeter than the arrival. When the time came, she didn't really want to leave, but we both knew that we just had to. So the next question is, why did we leave? What makes us different from anyone else? Why didn't I stay at home to fight? And it's a good and fair question. But please again allow me to ask you a question by return. When was the last time that your bank accounts were frozen, taken away all access to all of your money? When was the last time that you were pulled over by the police for no apparent good reason 3 times in under 2 weeks and questioned about your movements in the back of a police car? When was the last time that you went to renew your motor insurance policy and were told that due to my social media presence that this company would no longer be able to offer me any cover? When was the last time all of your debit and credit cards suddenly stopped working, that left you unable to buy any food for yourself or for your family, or to pay any bills, even to buy any petrol for the car for almost 10 days? When was the last time you had to go to a friend and ask to borrow cash to cover you during that period? When was the last time you were detained at the airport after simply coming back from a short break abroad, held like a criminal 3 times on the trot? When was the last time you and your family were spat at and attacked in the street in your hometown? When was the last time you received not one but a series of death threats? And when was the last time someone threatened to chop up and to murder your grandchildren? That's on record with the police. Shall I go on, or is that enough just to begin with to try and understand what we were going through as a family back home? But I want to be very, very clear about something. I am not, absolutely not, looking for any sympathy. I'm not looking for any comments of support, and I honestly mean that. All I'm looking for is a bit of fair-minded, honest and realistic understanding. You see, I can't afford to be taken away from my wife, my daughters and my grandchildren. They would struggle without me in many ways, and they are my world. So you're going to have to forgive me for putting them first. And this is one thing that I will not apologise for. They have given me everything, and my loyalty remains and always will be with them. Thirdly, some people say, Paul, you let us down. And do you know what? Well, that's one that I do understand, and one that I'm truly, truly sorry for, if that's how some people feel. And I must and do understand that some people are so desperate that I have disappointed some of you. That makes me feel very sad. And quite frankly, if I'm honest, it makes me feel a bit ashamed. But as much as I love my people and my country, I can't be responsible for everyone, for their actions or for their feelings, and more importantly, for the reasons why they're so angry with events at home. Those events are not my fault. They're no one's fault other than those that rule us. And I can try and be there for people. I can try and be their voice. I can do my best. But there's a limit. There's really not much else I can do unless I suddenly won the biggest lottery prize that's ever been. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, it's more obvious to me now that clearly I underestimated the depth of feeling some people had for me and the importance of my role that I was trying to take on, and that is very humbling. I've never enjoyed letting anyone down. It's just not the way I want to be. And if you genuinely feel that way and that I have let you down, then I want to sincerely apologise and say that I'm genuinely, deeply very sorry. And I hope that you can somehow find it in your heart to try and forgive me. And then, yesterday, the latest thinly veiled attack on me was from someone that I know, hugely respect, and whose I admire and whose opinions I agree with 99.9%. But with all due respect, this person has no children or grandchildren to take care of, and who can only imagine the impact of me potentially being taken away from them for whatever reason would have on my family. So look, yes, I am here where I am right now, away from my home. I'm putting on a brave face. The sun and the swimming pool, yeah, that can help mask the pain, and it might look good or bad, whichever way you look at it from where you're sitting. But let me assure you of this, it doesn't take away, none of it takes away the pain. And it will never stop me from loving our people, being dedicated to our people, our country, you and my family. Every night when I go to bed and I put my head on the pillow, you can believe this or you can believe it not, I'm not thinking about how I'm going to enjoy my next day. I'm still thinking about how I can try to make things right for you guys left at home. But I do, and I must accept that I have lost support, and I understand the reasons why. But I think, at least I hope, that I've lost support more through a lack of genuine understanding and the harsh realities, some of which, not all, but some of which I've outlined today. I'm just hoping that some of you will at least try to understand, and that is all I'm asking for. Because you know what? Right now, the easiest thing for me to do, for me, the most selfish thing that I could do would be to walk away from it all, call it a day, and leave you all to it. If that's what you want, then maybe that's what I'll do. But it's not what I want. And with your permission, I want to continue to fight for your rights, for your families, and for your children. And despite everything, regardless, I remain resolute and absolutely dedicated to this cause, and no one will ever be able to change that, no matter what they say about me and no matter where I have to live. Thanks for watching. Thank you for, I hope, trying to understand, and God bless you all.